There's a turkey! Yeah, turkey cat! Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Katie and I am on a journey to do a 3:10 marathon in March. And I just wrapped up my first week of training, so I'm just gonna briefly tell you guys how it went as I look forward to the next 15 weeks of training. So I started off with a 5K. I actually did the 5K on Saturday, and we showed some clips of that in last week's video. That was last Saturday, so I included that as part of my training for this week. I was planning to do a longer, like 2-mile tempo run, so I stretched it out and did 3 miles and did a 5K. And a 5K is a great way to start off a training block. A lot of books and different charts just recommend that you do a 5K so that you can gauge your paces for other workouts based off of that. So that was my first workout. I did a 5K. I did it in 20:51, so a little slower than I had done some 5Ks last year, but it gives me a starting point, and now I know what I have to work with. The other workout that I did was on Wednesday. I went to the track and did really just a classic marathon workout, 800s. A lot of people call this style workout Yasso's, named after Bart Yasso, who kind of came up with this idea that depending on how your time goes, if you can do 10 800s, and then you convert your minutes and seconds into hours and minutes, that gives you a good gauge of what your marathon time will be. So for example, I did, my last 3 were 3:11 on the dot, ironically. So if I could do all 10 of them in 3 minutes and 11 seconds, then I should, in theory, be able to do a 3:11 marathon. So I was excited. It's been a while since I've done track work. I honestly didn't do any track work at all during the Ironman training block. So it's been a little while. Speed has never really been my strength either. So I was excited to kind of visualize and think in a couple weeks as it gets closer to the marathon, when I do this workout again, hopefully I will able to do 10. I just started out with 6 because I'm kind of easing into things and don't want to get injured. So I just did 6, but hopefully, as I continue to build, I'll be able to do 10 and hopefully be able to do them at 3:10, and hopefully that will transition to a 3:10 marathon. I also did my first long run of the training block, just started out with 13, a good, comfortable starting point for me. Just did a kind of casual pace, a little bit. I think I did a 8:30, and it didn't feel easy. I've been trying to stick with around 9:30, 9 to 9:30 for my easy runs. So I would say it was more a steady pace, but just a good starting place to go off of. And then I also, like I mentioned last week, included my strength training. I did a couple swims, a cycling session, and then a strength training class that I try to do once a week for an hour. So those were the additional pieces that I did for cross training. All in all, I'm feeling really excited about this training block. Like I mentioned before, I'm doing a 16-week plan, so still very early on, still have lots of room to improve, hopefully, and just excited to jump back into marathon training. So if you yourself are marathon training, I would love to hear from you. What are you training for? If you have any questions about training, like I mentioned before, I'm not a coach, I'm not an expert, I'm just a wife and a mom and a person who loves running and really just desire to help others get into the sport of running or triathlon training as well. That's really a true joy for me, especially to hear from you guys and just to be able to help other people who are falling in love with running and getting into the sport themselves. So drop a comment below if you've enjoyed this video. I really just love to hear from you guys. And if you want to follow along on the journey, make sure you hit subscribe, click the bell so you get notified, and we'll see you on the next one.